Appropriate shirt today, half white, half orange, so tried to be neutral. I think I did a better job calling sacks, but it's kind of hard to, just can't really win. It's tough. So it's like being a referee out there. It's got a little more respect for those guys. But anyway, fun day. I really thought it'd be competitive, and it was. A few missed opportunities offensively, some big competitive plays defensively, with a great finish by Bubba McAtee, at the end there. So just a fun game, and had some good situational stuff, come up as well. But again, it's been a competitive spring. We've been a very incomplete team this spring, obviously with a lot of these guys that have been out. But the guys that were able to go through spring, I'm really pleased and proud of just the work. We're a work in progress, but we improved, and that was the main thing. Put it, especially offensively, to get a foundation in, to improve and get better, and we were able to do that. And we had a lot of young guys, and some guys that maybe are going to have bigger roles this year, get some really meaningful work this spring as well. So, again, unbelievable crowd. It was just so cool to have 50,000+ or whatever it was here to see us. I really appreciate our fans. I mean, I know it's not like that everywhere, and so I appreciate our fans coming out, and it's big to give us that type of feeling for these guys to have to go out there and play and compete in. So again, a lot of fun, and looking forward now to, just got a lot of meetings with our players coming up these next couple weeks, and kind of equipping them with what they need to know to, as we call, transform this summer as we enter in the second phase of this 2023 journey. So, a lot of work to do this summer. But I think, again, next time we're back on the field come August, and we'll be a lot more complete football team, and a lot of guys that I think will be hopefully the best version of themselves that we've seen since they've been here. Whether that's a Tyler Davis going into his last year, or that's a Peter Woods who got here in January, or a Vic Burley, or a Noble Johnson, whoever it is, if they'll just be the best version of themselves that we've seen since they got here, they get better, we get better, and I think we'll have a chance to be a really, really good team.
Will Shipley just precautionary?
Yeah, he's just had some knee tenderness. He's practiced most, he scrimmaged some too, and then just the last week or so he's battled a bunch of tendonitis in that knee area. So he's done all the team stuff except for the last week or so, but we didn't scrimmage him last week or today. Just kept him out of the live stuff, from precaution.
We've heard about those mid-year enrollees. Yep. Today, Peter Woods is throwing people around. Khalil Barnes almost killed somebody, had a pick six. Is this what you guys have seen also this spring out of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, those guys, it's a really good class. Although, again, T.J. Parker, Burley, you saw Steph Island, and Peter, those guys, all four have been really good additions. And they've also really benefited. I mean, there's no Rook, there's no Peyton Page. Kate Part had to miss some. Trey Williams is out, and every one of those guys I just mentioned is going to play on Sunday one day. Every one of them, and so they've been out, and so it's really allowed those guys to kind of speed their process up. So that's been a real plus for them, and they took full advantage of it. And that's what you want to see guys do. Jamal and D. Jamal made a play today, and D's had a great spring. And then those young DBs, Shelton Lewis has just shown up and been consistent all spring long. Khalil, same thing. What you saw today is kind of who he's been all spring. And then not just those guys, but the guys that were here last year. A guy like Kylan Griffin, who we were able to redshirt. T.J. Dudley. I mean, we've just got a Colin Sadler, a guy that was able to redshirt. Those guys are making a jump. But those mid-years have been exceptional. Noble. It's been moving really fast for him, but he's gotten better and better and better, and this was huge for him to get out here in this environment and just realize, okay, it's still just football, and just a couple mistakes, but he made some strides. And Harris Sewell, what he's been all spring camp has been awesome. I mean, and just keep going. I mean, all of those guys, I'm not disappointed with anybody. Josh Sapp, a guy we were able to redshirt who's really going to help our team. So it's really across the board. I think last year's class that we signed, the Klubnik class and this class that just came in here, this is from top to bottom. I think two real complete groups. So I'm excited about what we got a chance to do with them.
What's going on the summer to-do list for Tristan Lee?
just continue the track he's on. I mean, Paul Hogan really kind of handles him and has his hands all over him, does a great job with him. But just continue. Don't change anything. I mean, he's a grinder. He's got a plan every day, every week, every month. And so just continue to make that progression and build on what he did. I mean, he'll come into August with sky-high confidence because of what he did this spring. And with Tate and Parks out all spring, it really just allowed him to settle in. And you know, his effort's amazing. And anytime you are a great effort guy, you usually at some point become consistent and confident. And that's what I've seen with Tristan. He's just put great effort in, and his consistency and his confidence is the best it's been since he's been here. So continue to get stronger. Continue to on that body composition that he's been working on. Continue with his flexibility. Continue with his footwork and fundamentals and technique. So all the things that he does every day, just keep going. And if he does, he's going to keep getting better.
Coach, we see a lot of programs do ones versus twos in the spring game, kind of trying to, build a program up. You had the best versus the best of that. Talk to us about your decision-making process with that.
Yeah, and we usually have a version of that. Usually what we do is if this team gets the left tackle, and this team gets the right tackle, this team gets the left guard, and so it's usually pretty much good on good always, even though we split it. But this year, we were just missing some key guys in that defensive line and in the offensive line, and so. With a new quarterback, new coordinator, we just wanted to kind of get what we thought were the best 11 on offense and the best 11 on defense of what's available, and then we just kind of broke everybody else up as even as we possibly could. So we tried to put our best 11 on offense and our best 11 on defense, and so it was pretty much ones on ones all day, but. Like I said, typically we still kind of have that, but we just tried to keep we only had 4 scholarship receivers, so we tried to keep Speck, Cole, and Antonio to just create a little bit of continuity with Cade, and then also, the best that we have on that offensive line. We had a couple of guys that we might have kept over. Trent Howard might have stayed over, but Putnam was in his brother's wedding today, and so he wasn't here, so both of those guys had to snap. So, but it was a good day, a really good day, and if Shipley had been able to go on, we'd have had he and Shipley, and then we'd have had probably Keith on the other team. So, good work by both groups.
Coach, I asked you at last year's spring game that the incoming freshman class kind of were trial by fire with having to fill in some spots. This year, the freshman class looks like they're on fire just with their performance. How do you describe kind of last year's spring game with the incoming freshman class, early enrollees, and incoming freshmen to this year's as far as talent-wise and just performance on the spring games?
Yeah, well, I think I have to go back and look, but this is a lot of mid-years. I think it's the most we've had in a while, 15 of them. So a lot of guys, plus Strecco's in here, and then I don't know if Paul Tyson counts in that. I think maybe 17 guys actually. And obviously Paul couldn't go, still dealing with the thumb, but. You get that amount of guys that are here, it's just invaluable for them to be able to get the type of work that they got this spring. So I think that bodes well for us. And, we had a bunch of those guys that still yet to be here. I think we got maybe 12 guys coming in the summer, 10 or 12 guys. I mean, there's a lot of dudes that still aren't here, like Ojebwe and Hoffler. And got those 2 big tight ends. We've got 3 receivers, in Tink and Tyler Brown and Ronan coming in here. To add on with Bo and Adam and Stellato and Will, who were out all spring. So we got a lot of guys that'll still be showing up that we're excited about. Still got Robert Billings coming in at safety, Strozier, Avion Terrell at corner. I mean, there's a good group of guys that will have a chance. And if you look back at last year, you saw a guy like Woodaz. He got here in June. A lot of these guys. So they still got plenty of time to be ready to help our team. But these guys that were here this spring certainly, I think, took full advantage of the opportunity to get better.
You had a very incomplete team on offense. How do you evaluate Cade, how he played today? Obviously some big plays, but a couple of picks.
Yeah, well, he made some great off-schedule plays and extends play. That's what I love to see. All the rest of it will come together the way it needs to, but. A couple tough breaks. That was a great play by Nate. The ball's right on the money, and it's, we kind of played a little short instead of played. At worst, it needs to be incomplete, but we were kind of tight to the body, and Nate reached around. Tips are supposed to be picks, and And then what a great, I think Jamal maybe got his hand on the one ball. It was a bang play down there, and Mickens came up one when Cooper came up one. So, but he did a heck of a job. But what you love about him is, man, he can extend. I mean, he can really turn 2.8 seconds into 8-9 seconds, and it's just hard, when you have a guy that can do that when he's really live. But he's had a great spring for sure, a really good spring, and I'm pleased with what we've been able to get in. And so as being incomplete, yes, we know that, but we've still been able to get everything installed. We've still been able to lay a good foundation, and it's gonna come together nicely. I really believe that.
Looked like Quadzilla had a fun game.
What's that?
Looked like Quadzilla had a fun game today.
Man, he did. I'm glad y'all got a chance to see him. He's a big, thick kid, but man, he's loose in the hips, and he's got great vision, and he's downhill. He's patient runner. He really understands how to run the ball, and I mean, he can help us. Obviously we got two stallions in Big Phil and Ship, but hey man, how about Phil today? What Makuba. That's a lesson from Makuba. You can't knock those big guys down. You gotta wrap them up. No shame in holding on for the cavalry to get there. But we've got some really good weapons there, and Dominique has shown that he can be a very dependable guy for us. And then Keith Adams did some good stuff. So it's good to see those guys, and obviously we'll get Jay Haynes and we'll get Jarvis in here this summer as well, and continue to build that depth.
The players were talking about the freshmen that have come in, and they said they've just kind of changed the culture actually, and really brought some energy. Yep. What do you make of them, and what can they provide